According to the University of California, Berkeley, a mass extinction occurs when global extinction rates rise significantly above background levels in a geologically short period of time. Throughout the history of Earth, species have gone extinct quite frequently, with scientists currently estimating that 99.9% of all plant and animal species that have ever existed on Earth now extinct. It is not necessarily the fact of extinction that makes the concept of mass extinction so fascinating, but rather the abrupt disappearance of a large amount of life forms in a relatively short time frame. Through detailed study of the fossil record, scientists are better able to ascertain when mass extinctions may have occurred and the type of species that may have been wiped out. Over the last 4.6 billion years, Earth has seen 5 mass extinctions, which have seen anywhere from 50 to 95% of the life forms on Earth at the time of their occurrence perish. Approximately 440 million years ago, the Ordovician extinction saw the extinction of many small marine organisms. As the temperature around Earth started to drastically decrease, the planet's oceans became covered with thick sheets of ice. Ultimately, this late Ordovician glaciation resulted in upwards of 60% of the Earth's species disappearing. Approximately 365 million years ago, the Devonian extinction saw the extinction of many tropical, marine/reef-building species like arthropods and sharks. The reason for the extinction of roughly 75% of the planet's species at the time is still unclear, but most scientists hypothesize that changes in sea levels and lack of oxygen in the oceans may be the main culprit for much of the change. Volcanic eruptions and/or asteroid strikes may have also contributed to additional extinction waves in the years following the initial population decline. Approximately 250 million years ago, the Permian extinction, largely thought of as the biggest mass extinction in the Earth's history, saw the extinction of a wide variety of species, including trilobites, pelycosaurs, placoderms, and other vertebrates. While scientists still remain unsure about the main culprit behind this extinction, they believe that overly active volcanic activity, potentially coupled with asteroid strikes, may have led to the extinction of upwards of 96% of all life on Earth 250 million years ago. Approximately 210 million years ago, the Triassic extinction saw the extinction of other land vertebrate species and many large amphibians. This extinction is hypothesized to have occurred in numerous short waves, wiping out a few species at a time. Volcanic activity may once again be the culprit, as it is thought to have altered climate conditions as well as the pH levels of oceanic water at the time of the extinction. Approximately 65 million years ago, the Cretaceous extinction, also known as the KT extinction, saw the extinction of many dinosaurs and pterosaurs, as well as paved the way for the growth and evolution of mammals. Certainly, this event is the most well-known of all mass extinctions due to its dispatchment of the dinosaurs. While there once again are varying hypotheses for the culprit behind this extinction, it is likely believed that a massive asteroid impact near the Yucatan Peninsula is what ultimately did the dinosaurs in. The actual impact of the asteroid, coupled with its environmental effects, like the blockage of the sun, which may have lowered the planet's temperatures, was catastrophic for upwards of 75% of all Earth life forms. As mentioned above, while certainly all of the 5 mass extinction events are notable, none of them rival the fame and notoriety that has been bestowed upon the Cretaceous or KT extinction. For a variety of reasons, the KT extinction is the most well-known of all mass extinctions, the predominant one being that it resulted in the demise of the great species of dinosaurs and thus drastically changed the course of our planet's biological history. Around 145 million years ago, as the Triassic period came to a close, the Cretaceous period began. Throughout this period, the supercontinent Pangaea became more and more loosely lined, slowly growing closer to the broken-up shapes of the 7 continents we are accustomed to today. Over these continents, dinosaurs roamed as the apex predators, with small rodents and other mammals quietly lurking beneath, waiting for their chance to one day dominate the food chain. However, before these furry creatures had the chance to rule, the dinosaurs themselves would have to relinquish their nearly 100 million year long reign throughout the Cretaceous period. Sauropods, a classification of dinosaur that houses the more commonly known Brontosaurus, dominated the southern continents, while large carnivores like the Tyrannosaurus rex ruled the north. Along the coast, smaller creatures like frogs, turtles, crocodiles, and snakes took stake on newly expanded landforms. pterosaurs took advantage of the vast skies, although their reign would soon be replaced by the presence of a variety of different evolving bird species. In the seas, mosasaurs, rays, and more modern sharks became ever abundant. However, a variety of newly evolved species, which would be central to the construction of future life on our planet, made their first appearances in the Cretaceous period as well. Appearing around 125 million years ago, flowering plants, otherwise known as angiosperms, took stake throughout the Earth. Early angiosperm life forms thrived in a variety of different locations, but were particularly strong in areas with damper climates and along the banks of the Cretaceous period's constantly expanding river formations. Additionally, many more modern groups of insects such as ants, butterflies, and the eusocial bee also began to come about throughout the Cretaceous period. These particular forms of life have had reverberating effects throughout the Earth's natural environment ever since their evolution. Unfortunately, anywhere from 50 to 85% of the aforementioned marvelous Cretaceous period creatures perished, never to be seen again, as a result of the KT extinction event roughly 65 million years ago. While certainly this event was catastrophic for a multitude of life forms, there were still many types of biological organisms which survived, like small mammals, a variety of insects, flowering plants, and others. These organisms paved the way for life that exists on Earth today. Like with any other mass extermination, the KT extinction has a variety of hypotheses for its main cause or causes that have been proposed by scientists from all over the globe for several decades. The two explanations backed by the most scientific data and evidence suggest a large asteroid impact and immense volcanic eruptions. In the early 1980s, UC Berkeley physicist Walter Alvarez, accompanied by his father Louis amongst other scientists, first published their theory of an asteroid impact at the end of the Cretaceous period. In this publication, the Alvarezes identified a spike in iridium levels at the end of the fossil record of the Cretaceous period, subsequently termed the KT boundary. Due to the extraordinarily high amounts of iridium, coupled with its discovery all over the world, the Alvarez group hypothesized that this iridium was likely non-native and in turn was brought to the Earth through an asteroid impact somewhere on the planet. Evidence was found by the Alvarez group of the likely impact, deeply buried in the sediments of the Yucatan Peninsula on the eastern side of Mexico. In the years following their initial work, Alvarez and his associates pieced together more and more conclusive evidence of the hypothesized asteroid impact and its widespread effects on the globe. Throughout northern Mexico, the southern United States, and the Gulf of Mexico, there remain signs of a massive disturbance of the KT boundary, with the seafloor sediments from that time period even containing fossilized land, plants, and animals. Likely these sediments were formed from a series of record-sized tsunamis, carrying 1,000 times the energy of any earthquake yet recorded. While these natural disasters certainly would have been catastrophic for many species, they probably were not even the only effects of the hypothesized asteroid impact. The dust and sediment blasted into space from the initial asteroid impact likely would have heated the Earth's surface to intolerable levels and resulted in irreversible climatic damage and a multitude of species extinctions. As mentioned previously, the possibility of massive volcanic eruptions also playing a part in the KT extinction has been hypothesized by scientists as well. Located precisely at the KT boundary, enormous amounts of basalt flooded out between India and Africa to form lava beds called the Deccan Traps. The peak of these hypothesized Deccan eruptions may have lasted about 1,000,000 years, with the rate of eruption being 30 times as frequent as the rate of Hawaiian eruptions in the present day. These gigantic volcanic eruptions very reasonably could have had major global effects on the planet's atmospheric composition, weather, and temperature, which would have been detrimental to the survivability of many Cretaceous period species. While many lizards and small mammals were able to survive based on their ability to burrow and feed off smaller food sources, species like pterosaurs, dinosaurs, and large marine reptiles succumbed to food shortages and drastic weather changes. With the dinosaurs wiped out, the years after the KT extinction brought expansion and growth for the evolution of mammals on Earth. Roughly 1,000 years post-KT extinction, approximately double the amount of mammal species roamed the planet as any time prior. After about 700,000 years, legumes such as beans and nuts provided mammals with the necessary nutrition to expand upwards of 100 times larger in size than their ancestors from the Cretaceous period. While the loss of dinosaurs may have allowed for the rapid diversification and evolution of mammals, the story of the Cretaceous period is still a warning of just how quickly life can change on our planet.